Welcome back to the Vandy Sports Podcast. I'm Joey Dwyer here with Alaina Morris and the woman of the hour, Jordyn Cambridge, after Vanderbilt's win over Florida. Vanderbilt moves to 2-0 in the SEC. Jordyn, what did this win mean for you guys?
Honestly, it meant everything, but we prepare for this every day. Since June, we've been preparing for this moment, and I'm glad that our work is finally paying off in wins. So we're going to keep building off of this going into our next game on Thursday.
I know today the crowd was definitely a factor. I think that I saw that you guys just had over 4,000 fans at today's game. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, it means everything. I was telling other people I used to come to the games when I was younger, and it used to be packed in here. It was so loud in here. So it was great to have an atmosphere where it's really hard for me to think and everything. So I'm glad that we had a great crowd, and then I hope that people keep coming back and we keep getting wins.
And you guys have moved to 15-1, and you're just continuing to get better. What's the biggest thing that you see in your team as far as growth? What's the biggest factor or the biggest area you see your team grow?
I think the way that we're consistent in our communication with each other on defense and on offense, and then the way that we trust what we're doing at practice. So on defense, obviously, in June we came in, we had to learn a lot of learning to do, but I think we've really stuck to our principles and then trusted our offense, trusted what everybody's able to do individually, and making sure we're putting each other in positions to be successful in that way.
Jordyn, you've gone through a lot of tough seasons here. Obviously, the injury last year, and then before that, not being tournament teams or winning a whole lot. How fulfilling has this last week been to you to show teams that you guys are for real and you guys belong in the SEC and are capable of winning a lot of games going to the tournament?
Honestly, it means everything. I actually had a couple of tears of joy on my way out because it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be 15-1, especially being in my sixth year. I know I came to Vanderbilt for this reason, to build something, to grow something, and I'm just so glad. It took me in my sixth year, but I'm glad that it's finally paying off, and the hope is that this is the standard, and then we only get better from here.
You guys have gotten a lot better throughout Coach Ralph's tenure. What makes this team so special, and how have you guys been so successful early on?
I think we just have a lot of pieces that we haven't always had. We have a bunch of different shooters. We have a bunch of different players who can create for themselves. We have a bunch of great defenders, and then the way that we just mesh together, like on any given night, it can be anyone's night. Tonight it was me and Yana, and the next time it could be Sasha, it could be Justine, it could be J.O., it could be the people off the bench. You just never know. So we just have a lot of different pieces that I don't think we've always had going into this. We have depth, we have numbers, and we don't have to worry about, we can get subs in and out if we need it. So it's just the different skill sets and talents that we have this year.
For sure. Thank you, Jordyn, for your time. Alaina and I are going to keep going, but you're excused. You're dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Alaina, what a heck of a win for Vanderbilt women's basketball. They come into this week, 13-1, and you're looking at it and you're saying they got a real chance here. And then this week they go out and they prove it. They got 3 votes in the top 25 last week. As you look forward, how special could this season be? They're already at 15 wins. 20 wins is probably the benchmark to get in the NCAA tournament or around that, and they only have to get 5 more wins to do that, and it's early January.
I mean, yeah, coming into this week, 13-1, you start on the road. We talked about that earlier this week, the win over Mississippi State. That was massive. And then a big win here today over Florida. They head to Kentucky later this week on Thursday. That's also going to be a big game for them. But last year they only won 3 SEC games the entire year. They won their first, 2 starting it out, and we're just in early January. So it's just a big win for the program. And as Jordyn mentioned, they're just stepping forward. They've got all the pieces this year. So, they can continue to build off of that going forward.
You look at the pieces, and we just talked to one of them. Jordyn Cambridge seems to be their alpha dog. She had 24 points today. I think a lot of what I thought of Jordyn Cambridge before the season was about her defense and about her ability to do things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Alaina, today she had 24 points, was 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 8 for 15 from the field, 8 rebounds. What an unreal performance from her. And Alaina Moore really struggled starting out. It didn't look like she was quite in the swing of things, and then really got going, 20 points, 50% from the field. Alaina, how good are the frontline players on this team? And even Sasha Washington, who didn't have a big day today, Vanderbilt still finds a way to win. What does that say about this team, and how good are its guards?
Yeah, just to dive more deep into those numbers, Alaina Moore finished the game with 20 points. She only had 3 at halftime. So 17 points came in the second half for her, a big half for her when they really needed someone to step up. As you mentioned, Jordyn Cambridge finished the afternoon with 24 points. They had 26 points as a team at halftime. She had 13 of those. So those two really were the catalyst for the reason this team was able to get it done today. But as she mentioned, it can vary on any given night, and I think that's what's going to make them competitive in the SEC going forward.
I think today maybe the biggest thing is bigger than this game. You look at the culture of this program and the resiliency that it has, and the way the crowd showed up for this game. We talked about it with Jordyn a little bit, but man, this was packed. I've been to pretty much all the men's games this year, and this might have been the loudest I've heard Memorial Gym all year when Vandy scores and when Vandy goes on a run. It seems like they're building something here, and it showed with the community kind of showing out for Shea Ralph and her team and allowing them to feed off the crowd. How special was that crowd today?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly special. I think after the game I read somewhere it was a little over 4,000, so that's a lot of people, and it was very loud in here. And talking to Coach Ralph after the game was over, she said that this crowd was the sixth man today, and she wants them to continue to come back. And I know Jordyn Cambridge mentioned too after the game was over that she had a difficult time communicating with her teammates, and what that means is, honestly, it's not a bad thing. You want to have a hard time sometimes because that means you have fans showing up for you. So, with the winning culture comes a crowd that wants to watch winning basketball, and they're 15-1 right now.
Alaina, before we keep going, I want to talk about our presenting sponsor, the Wash House. Are you dreading laundry days? It's stealing time to do the things you truly enjoy. Let the laundry professionals at the Wash House take care of that for you. With 2 convenient locations in the greater Nashville area, just drop off your dirty laundry and our professional attendants can give you back the one thing you can never have enough of, which is your time. Within 24 hours, you can pick up your nicely folded, fresh and clean laundry ready to be put away. Check out www.washhouseclean.com. Stop in today and get your time back. Another thing I want to mention today, resiliency and battling adversity. Vanderbilt turned it over 25 times. It shot 35% from the field, 30% from three. Still finds a way to win against a team that has proven to be pretty decent throughout the year, was 9-4 coming in, and didn't have too many bad losses. Marshall was a bad loss for them. They lost South Carolina by a lot, but also had some good wins on their resume. Georgia Tech was one. I think they beat Purdue, another team. Florida wasn't a pushover, and Vanderbilt still found a way to win without doing the things that it does best all the time, and I think that really says something about Shea Ralph's team.
Yeah, definitely. This game was definitely gritty from the moment it began. Both sides were full court pressing. I think there was 49 combined turnovers this entire game, and Vanderbilt committed 9 turnovers in the first quarter. They cleaned that up, kind of cutting that in half, around 4 per each quarter. So they figured it out a little bit, but still it's going to be tough to win games, only shooting 35%, committing 25 turnovers. But the fact that they did win today just shows how tough of a team they are, and they're just willing to overcome any obstacles, whether they're inflicted on themselves.
Yeah, again, I think big picture comes to mind. You look at today and you think, man, this wasn't a fluke. This is what Shea Ralph has built, and it's finally coming to fruition for her. I think it's meant a lot for her to kind of see what this building was today, see the crowd, and see how late people stayed, see how early people got here, and see how full this place was throughout the day. I think this was a real day that kind of shows you the infrastructure of this program and how it's improved over the years. And I don't know that we've been able to say that about every program at Vanderbilt. Shea Ralph doesn't have the easiest job in the world, but she's done a heck of a job. And I think today in Mississippi State really showed that.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, talking about the crowd, there's still people here and enjoying, today's win. And after the game was over, I walked out here on the court, and players were signing autographs, and there was a big line for it, and that was 40 minutes after the game had ended. So I think that can just say something about the program. The fact that people are so excited to support these players says something. And as you mentioned, Shea Ralph doesn't have an easy job, but today I think just says what she's all about.
Alaina, let's look at the path to the tournament here. It looks pretty dang good. With a 15-1 team, they have to win about 5 more to get to 20 wins. They're pretty high in the net. I don't know exactly what the number is right now, but Alaina, this looks like a tournament team through and through, and that was Shea Ralph's goal in the preseason. Right now, it doesn't look like they're going to be an 11 seed. This is a team that could legitimately get votes, and they have got votes to be in the top 25. They could be a top 25 team as we wake up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, definitely. I think that 15-1 wouldn't be a shock if this week they entered that top 25. And they are moving up in the numbers. I believe coming in today they were 58 in the net. And originally a couple weeks ago they were 11 seed in the NCAA tournament. And Charlie Kareem, who does bracketology at ESPN, and just moved them up to a 9 seed. So the way they're going, it's just continuing to move up, and it's the trajectory you want to go in.
Absolutely, it feels like. I mean, Alaina, how could you not rank them right now? They're 15-1. I think a lot of the skepticism, and I'll be honest, I had it too, was that their wins, I don't know that they really impressed me a whole lot with some of them. Iowa State was a good one. Butler was a good one on the road. I think that game said something about them as well. But looking at this week, I mean, their resume got bolstered unbelievably. I mean, it probably doubled, right? So Vanderbilt's got a chance here, and I think prove that if it can't win the SEC, which I don't know that it will, it can at least compete.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, we talked about it earlier this week. There's going to be tough stretches at the end of the month. They have to play at Tennessee and at South Carolina. But, you know, Thursday they head to Rupp Arena, take on Kentucky. That'll be interesting to see how they do. But I would say that, you know, their strength of schedule has just only gotten better because beating teams like Mississippi State, beating teams like Florida, it's just proving what they're capable of. And, you know, we did see them struggle against some teams that maybe people didn't consider to be much of a challenge. But I think that you're right. It was a little bit hard to buy in at first, but the more we've watched this team play, the more we, you know, have gotten behind the fact that this is a really solid team who's just building a really solid program.
Yeah, early on, I mean, I think they cut it close with UT Martin. They cut it close with some teams they probably shouldn't have. But, Alaina, I like how you asked Jordyn Cambridge where this team's got better, because that was going to be my point. It's like, they've gotten better. Like, Ayanna Moore has really stepped into her own. Sasha Washington was the workhorse early in the year. She only had 8 points tonight, fouled out. Camille Pierre did some great things off the bench defensively and rebounding-wise, although she wasn't great from the field. Made a big free throw late that almost put this one away in my eyes. Vanderbilt finds a way to win when it's not at its best, and I think that's a testament to how it's gotten better. Heck of a win for Vanderbilt. Alaina, any closing remarks?
I think, you know, you just kind of recapped it all right there. You know, this team has gotten better. Jordyn talked about that. And, yeah, you mentioned Camille Pierre. That free throw put him up by 4, so that was huge. And then Ayanna Moore sealed it with making her 2 free throws at the end of the game. I think this is Ayanna Moore's 4th straight double-digit point game, so she's really starting to get into a groove of things, and this team's just starting to just continue to build something special.
Alaina, I don't know that I plan to be here as much as I have been this year, and that's a testament to how this team has progressed and the culture shape Ralph is building. You want to be around this team, and I think we both experienced that a lot early in the year. Hard to not want to come back to see this team, and I think we'll see that reflected in Memorial Gym next time they're around. For Alaina Morris, for Joey Dwyer, and I guess for Jordyn Cambridge too, it was nice of her to join us. Shout out to the Vandy communications staff, Chris Caskey, for letting us have her. But for us, thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.